My name is John Schmidt. I come to you live from Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. Anybody ever been there once or twice? I want to thank Dave Sequeira from Benzel Bush and also Michael. Quick story, why I retired from retail, and after 30 years I was at FOD at a pretty large store. I wanted to do something different, so I had a friend approach me about mobile service. So I joined the Ford Mobile Service training team for 2 years, and I traveled all over the country, hundreds of dealers. It was a really fun experience, and I learned a lot, and I want to share some of that with you all today. By the way, there's no sign up, there's no enrollment at the end, so one slide into this, you're going to know that I'm a car guy. Without further ado, let's get going. Mobile service. Is it the dumbest idea ever? Okay? That's what we're going to figure out today. We're going to hold mobile service up to the light and say, is this thing good or bad? And how does it change our business? First of all, when I was approached in January of 2020 by a colleague who asked me if I wanted to train for Ford, this was my response. Mobile service is the dumbest idea ever. I can't make any money in my shop on oil changes and recalls as it is. Why would I spend $150K on a van to change oil on a driveway? There's no way it can make money. None of my customers want it. And what if I have an oil spill? That's how I started out. So that's how jazzed I was about mobile. And I would venture to say there's folks in this room that feel the same way. My job is not to sell you on this. I'm just going to point out some stuff to you that I learned along the way. My journey in mobile since 2020, I want to share that with you today. So, is it the dumbest thing ever? Anybody watch college football? I know this is the Northeast, it's not a big deal. I'm from the South. The legendary Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. Maybe it's not the dumbest thing ever. Let's talk about some stuff. Addition by subtraction. When you've got an A-level tech in the shop, cranking out high gross work, and you get a 3/10 reflash, or you get a sticker you got to put on, or you get a grommet you got to put in the trunk of a car because it's leaking water, what's that do to your flow? Our job is to keep our crankers cranking, right? That's what we do. So if we can take some of these less lucrative jobs out of the shop, it's addition by subtraction. Secondly, what about the recall stampede? Every time there's a new recall, your phones blow up, your service drives blow up, and your people are freaking out with their hair on fire. If we could be proactive with recalls and get them out of the shop, we can do high production work. Low revenue congestion, we just talked about it. Reduces low mileage, no upsell services. You're going to have services that you know you can't sell work on. You still want to give them great service. An A service with 10,000 miles on it. What can you do with that in your shop? I mean, and I say that in a respectful way. We want to serve our guests. We certainly want to make sure that we're matching the jobs to the skill set. What I'm going to challenge you guys to do today is look beyond the 8.5 by 11. You know what I mean by that? Look beyond the dock, look beyond your P&L, and look at the other stuff that goes into mobile that's not on the P&L. I'm going to show you some of that stuff now. How about your loaner expense and reliance? I've been in 100 Mercedes-Benz stores. Maybe not quite that many, I'm exaggerating. I'm a car guy, so maybe 50. I see a lot of situations where the shop is out of work, but they're also out of loaner cars. And I know there's got to be at least one person in this room that has seen that situation where the loaner car is the choke point. It's not your technician's ability to get the car out. It's like, dang, I got no loaner cars. And my customers are trained to get a loaner, and they're afraid to have it taken away from them. So they'll wait for 3 weeks, 2 weeks. This is a big thing in the South. I'm not sure if that's the case up here. Georgia, North Carolina, Florida, Alabama, it's a big deal. Here's something here. Our study says that any given dealer, 28 to 32% of their appointments, if you look at your schedule when you go back, and Lois is going to give you a self-assessment to take home with you to look at this stuff later. 28% to 32% of your appointments in your shop qualify for mobile. So when people say, oh, there's no work, there's lots of work. Trust me, we just got to reallocate it. I got a dealer we're talking to about mobile. They're spending $100,000 a month. Now that may be what you guys spend on loaners. I hope I'm not offending anybody. 100 G's a month on loaner cars. I say, man, you ought to go mobile. The guy's like, the van's like 150K. I'm like, Yeah, you're going to spend $150K in 6 weeks on loaner cars, right? I'm not saying to do away with loaners. I'm saying if we can lower our reliance on loaners and lower our loaner expense, that's a good thing because it alleviates that choke point. This guy, same guy told me, yeah, we just added 6 cars over the weekend. They're all out. The minute they come in, they go right back out. Does anybody resemble this at all? Does this resonate with anybody? Maybe it's not a big deal up here. I don't know. I see a couple amens, so that's good. Loaners get abused and wrecked. I talked to my good friend Dave Sakara the other day, just yesterday. He says, yeah, we've got this many loaners, but this many are in the body shop. Anybody got a loaner in a body shop right now? Yeah? That's a couple amens. All right, good. I mean, not good, just good that somebody's...
Was that question rhetorical?
Yeah, actually it was. All right, important note. You can move someone out of a loaner car into a mobile appointment without freaking them out if you do it the right way. The challenge that a lot of people have is they don't want their loaner car taken away on this visit, because if I give my loaner car up, maybe I will never get one again. Maybe I'm relinquishing my right to a loaner car. We got to make sure they know, listen, Mr. Jones, all the work you're wanting to have done qualifies for mobile. How would you like to have that done at your home or place of business instead of grabbing a loaner car? Well, I always get a loaner. Hey, that's true, and you still do. However, we're giving you an additional choice for convenience. Think about that. It's all about scripting, right? Increases true service loyalty. I've worked with a lot of OEMs. Most of them measured service loyalty by the amount of maintenance customers you have. What percentage of your clients are coming back for maintenance? If they don't choose you for maintenance, they're not loyal to you. That's me. That's John talking, not Mercedes-Benz. Just for the record, where's Steve Langelotti? He's probably freaking out right now. I'm not speaking for MBUSA, I'm speaking for me. If they're not doing their service work with you, man, they're not a loyal service customer. And they're subject to anybody else who can get across their path. Typically, it's 40 to 65% from my experience. Here's a stat that's going to blow your mind if you don't know this. I know we got some Ford dealers in here as well. In 2024, 37% of all Ford mobile service ROs were customers over 24 months inactive. Think about that. Let that soak in. 24 months since they've been in your store. That's powerful, man. I don't care how you slice it. Secondly, another stat. 92% of the customers that are inactive for the dealer for over 18 months, 92% accepted a mobile appointment. That's powerful. You want to recapture some people that aren't coming back anymore. That's where it's at right there. All right. CSI NPS lift. Mobile clients are more satisfied because of a frictionless, hassle-free, and transparent transaction. We know customers like to watch their cars being worked on, don't we? They don't want to deal with 10 different people. The technician many times is the cashier. The technician can explain it right on the spot. The service consultant as well. It's very transparent. It's very frictionless. Mobile service scores, statistically, scientifically proven, not my opinion, it's a 10% bump. Immediately. The gift of time. The people who buy your cars are affluent people. They're successful people. They got lots of money. But they've got a finite amount of time on earth, don't they? Do we value our time? What's an hour's worth of your time worth? What's an hour on a Wednesday? What's 3 hours in the middle of your day worth when you're getting a B service? Time is the new luxury currency. Anybody heard that before? I stole that. I tell people I made it up. I really stole it. Yeah, this is it, man. Money is infinite for some people. Time is finite. And when we give them the gift of time, the most precious gift we can give. All right. There's no demand for mobile service. Steve Jobs said it better than anybody ever in the history of mankind. They built stuff for people that they didn't know they wanted. Some of the dumbest ideas ever that turned out to be genius ideas were things that people didn't know they wanted. Case in point, I publish a magazine, digital, it's called Mobile Magazine, and that's a really creative name. And every month I have the dumbest ideas ever in there. This is from my first issue back in July, I think it was. Cell phones, I called them a car phone back then. I had a guy that I worked with, his name was Tracy Mitchell, sold 30 used a month. He was a beast, right? Driving around, he's got his top down. He says, John, let me show you this car phone I just got. This is like 1985. I'm old as dirt. I said, what's that thing for? It was like this big. It's my car phone. I go, think about this now. I'd never seen a car phone before, right? Imagine the first time you saw it. Well, most of y'all probably, they've been around for a while, but I'd never seen one. I'm like, what do you need that thing for? He's like, so I can call my wife. I go, bro, you live 10 minutes from the dealership. I said, there's a phone booth on every corner. Yeah, and he said, I got her one too. I want to drop this mic, but I can't break it. I mean, this is the dumbest thing ever. However, clearly, as of 2024, 8.9 billion users, and of course, we can't live without our cell phones. Can't even travel without it because our licenses and our boarding pass and everything. Same thing with email. I'm not going to go deep into that other than the fact to say that every idea that is genius and brilliant was a dumb idea at one time. So if y'all think this is a dumb idea, you might be right, but you could be wrong too. Which of these services do you enjoy? This is the other thing too. We all enjoy these frictionless experiences, don't we? I haven't been to the movie theater for 3 years, and I love the movies. I watch a lot of Netflix. I can tell you that right now. I'd be embarrassed to tell you how much TV I watch, but it's all streaming. I don't even watch broadcast anymore. DoorDash. Where else can a 17-year-old kid get a $25 Happy Meal at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? My house, I can tell you that right now. Grocery delivery, Spotify, my music. I used to want to own my music. I don't get to own it anymore. I got to rent it. Same with my movies, same with my news. No one's picking up a newspaper anymore, are they? It's all digital now. So, and I say this in the most respectful way, why would we receive all those consumer experiences, those frictionless experiences that we enjoy in our lives and not want to provide that to our guests? That's all I'm saying. I'm not throwing rocks at anybody because I know the business is hard. I did it for 30 years. And I can tell you right now, I got mad respect for everybody in this room that does it every day because I did 60-hour work weeks for 30 years. I get it. And there's a lot of other stuff you got to prioritize. But someone in the organization, and I'm sure there's many people, need to be forward thinking. What's next? What's today is not the same as what's next. People say, well, I can't make money changing oil in the driveway. Premium service deserves premium pricing. For example, here's a math equation. Surprise and delight plus white glove service plus the scarcity, right? Supply and demand, scarcity of the service. If you run 100 cars through your shop, you're going to run 6 cars a day through your van. That's scarcity. That should create demand. Exclusivity. I talk to a lot of my dealers. I'm like, why don't you invite people to be in this exclusive VIP club? You can't make it available to every single one of your guests. You'd have to have 200 vans. But you can make it available to certain people willing to pay a premium to do it. My plumber charges me $100 to show up. He doesn't even open his toolbox for $100. That's just to get in my driveway. We shouldn't be shy about what we're charging. Steve, where's Steve at? He's going to hate this too. Steve, yeah.
Wait, which Steve are you looking for?
Langelotti.
Oh, sorry.
Did he leave? I hope he left. Oh, yeah, he's still here. I see. Okay. He might not want to hear about the premium pricing, but I'm just telling you right now, your customers will thank you for the time that you gave them back. Think about it. 3 hours of your life, man. What's your hourly rate? 3 hours. So surprise and delight, white glove service, scarcity, exclusivity, frictionless, convenient experience, plus the gift of time. What is that worth? That's worth premium pricing. So anybody that thinks that they can't make money on an oil change or an A service needs to consider this in the equation. KPI attainment, obviously, we've got certain things we need to do for the factory. We want them to be happy with our performance. You are going to sell more parts. You're going to sell batteries on people that have a battery that may be starting a car today. You're out in their driveway, it doesn't test out well. That battery might crap out tomorrow and leave that customer stranded. This is what we're here to do, meet them where they are. You are going to get increased RO count. It's going to help you toward your service loyalty. Let me stop on that point really quick. It's not easy to run mobile. I'm making it sound like it's a cakewalk. We got some mobile dealers in here. It ain't easy. It ain't easy, so it's work. So I get that part of it, but there is a big benefit to it. High recall penetration, high CSI. There's not enough work in the shop as it is. I get this sometimes. Well, I don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul. All we're doing is taking work. We're just moving it from one pocket to another. These are all the things I hear all the time. Here's some stuff to think about. Here's a Thanksgiving dinner you can make from all the scraps that you guys probably can't get to. Now, I say this from my experience in dealers, working with appointment coordinators and service managers and FODs. Many of them don't follow up on missed or canceled appointments. There's a reason why that appointment was missed, because it's inconvenient to them. We have to speak to that inconvenience. Outstanding recalls, some have high penetration, some don't. Unused PPM, that's the first thing I go for when I go in there. Let me see your unused PPM. Let me see your soon to expire PPM. Connected car leads. I go into dealers where the connected car leads are going to an email if someone doesn't work there anymore. I mean, I know it sounds funny. I know. You think I'm joking, don't you?
No, I believe you.
It's a fact. I've seen it more than once. It's not fun. Of course, lost customers. We talked about those stats earlier. You can recapture people that are long gone if you give them a new choice, a new reason to take a look at your dealership. Aging special order parts. We'll talk about that for a second. These are my favorite because it's like when I was an FOD, Mr. Jones would come in and they would have this tiny stitch that wasn't quite perfect on their door trim panel. It was like a $2,000 trim panel. So we'd say we'd order it. We wanted to make him happy. That thing would come in, and guess what happened to Mr. Jones? Ghost. Mr. Jones vaporized. Couldn't find him. What am I going to do? I'm going to send this trim panel back. It's going to get damaged when I send it back. I'm going to get popped for 15 or 20%. I'm not talking about Mercedes, by the way. I'm not saying that. With another OEM. I get popped for sending it back. Maybe it gets damaged. How about I make like the Amazon guy, and I put it under my arm, and I roll up to their house and say, hey, I got great news for you. I got a package for you. Happens to be your door trim panel that you ordered 6 months ago. I still have it. You make that sale, $2,000 plus whatever the labor is. Completing other dealers' recalls. You probably have a ton of recalls in your market area from other dealers that have your products on their lot. That's an easy deal. You become like the dent guy. You show up once a week. Hey, I'm here. Just don't park in front of the sign in the front, right? You pull your big 10-foot high Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van, fully wrapped with all your stuff on it, go around back, and you check the lot for recalls. There's a lot of business there. I know certain Mercedes dealers that don't handle a single retail customer. They go all over the country, but that's their deal. That's their sweet spot. And of course, decline services. Sometimes you can entice a customer to do work that they weren't going to do if you give them a discount and you come to them. Make it easy on them. The bird dog. Another key point on taking work from the shop, moving it from one to the other. When I talk about recapturing customers that you haven't seen for a long time, and you've got deferred maintenance and you've got some needs there, you connect with them, you sell a job that you can't do mobile. If you've got a really seamless integration between mobile and pickup and delivery, you're home free. Hey, Mr. Jones, I got great news. Your A service is done, your recall's done, I put your cabin filter in. By the way, we found this. If you'd like to have this done, I'll send Bill over from the dealership with a loaner car. How's that sound? Boom, done. And the first few times you send bring a big job in to one of your line technicians in the shop that you got with the bird dog, they're going to quit squawking about it. I can promise you that because I've seen it. Commercial fleet. How many Sprinter dealers we got in here? Okay, got a couple hands up. This is a knockout. We also worked with, I told you I worked with Ford for 2 years. Ford feasts on fleet business. They feast on it. And they learned how to get it, and they learned how to keep it. I know one of the dealers I work with, I launched them and I trained them. I can't take credit for this, but they work with Amazon overnight. They're dusk to dawn, man. And Amazon's got a white knuckle grip on them because they don't want to lose that service, because who else is going to do that? Trained, certified Mercedes-Benz techs, Sprinter techs working overnight on their vehicles. Again, not suggesting that you do that, But this is what's going on out there. Mobile services Moneyball. How many of y'all seen the movie Moneyball? Wasn't it one of the greatest sports business movies ever? Right? Here's what I love about it. Here's why it's near and dear to me. I live in Tampa Bay. Okay? It's a crappy baseball town. It's a great football town. It's a crappy baseball town. We have no budget. We play in the AL East with the Red Sox and the Yankees. We've been competitive every year with about a fourth of the budget. We spend $50 million. We think we're going broke. You guys spend $300 million, and we're still in there fighting every year. But it's doing things right, and that's what the Oakland A's did. That's what Brad Pitt did when he played Billy Beane in Moneyball. He showed people you don't have to smack a home run or throw a no-hitter to win. You got to take a lot of pitches. You got to hit behind the runner. You got to sacrifice. And he found these really obscure, through another guy, these really obscure statistics like on-base percentage that caused them to win games with a low budget. Let's face it, Oakland's got a low budget, probably lower than it was a few years ago. So my point is that this is not a cakewalk. If I make it sound like it's super easy, it's not. You need to appoint someone beside you, because you're way too busy, to take this over and run with it. My suggestions are, if you decide to go with mobile, get maybe a service consultant that's really good with customers that can't handle 20 units a day. Maybe they can handle 6 or 8 really well. Or maybe your lead BDC person. A BDC person is perfect because they're already handling logistics like pickup and delivery, right? They're in the game already. Consider them and give them a chance to grow, give them something that they can own on their own. Let them own something. And finally, like everything relies on your willingness. The first day, 2020, was like January, I was in Ford Mobile Service training. I hate to keep dropping F-bombs here, and I'm sorry. But the first thing they told us as trainers is like, listen, we know that you guys are all rock star trainers, but everything relies on the dealer's willingness. I'm like, oh my God, what are they saying that for? You know, we can go in there. They already bought a van. They got to be willing, otherwise they wouldn't buy a van. You would be surprised how many people will spend $150K, and because it's just a little too much work or they don't quite understand how to do it, they'll just let it sit. Or they'll try to cut a corner. There's certain things you've got to make that investment. So it really is, if you want to get into mobile, you can't dip your toe in the water. I hear that a lot. You can't dip your toe in. You're either in or out. My friend Dave Sakara here just got in. I mean, he's just, he's kind of glug-glugging right now. No, I'm kidding. We're doing a van for them right now at the dealership. It's beautiful. Hopefully he'll send some pictures and post it and all that, but we're training them and doing a van for them at the dealership. But it's really a big commitment. So we can sit here and talk about the future, relevance, importance, but it is a lot of work. Okay, this is a sore subject for me. I won't bring it up. We are already under siege, okay? I'm going to take you back to the 80s. Who was in the car business in the early 80s? Anybody? Okay, we got a couple of players here. Okay. Young service advisor here, 1983, working with this older guy, probably younger than I am now, grumpy old guy. He says, listen, I worked for domestic, so the quality was terrible, of course. He says, listen, if someone calls in for an oil change, push him out as far as you possibly can. We can't make any money on those. All right, I didn't know any better. I was a kid right out of high school. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. And they get mad when you brought one in. What'd you bring that in for? We got all these engine jobs. Anyway, I digress. A couple years later, Jiffy Lube, a couple of these other players, Pep Boys, they got in the business, didn't they? They got in the maintenance business. Guess what happened to us guys? And I say that with mad respect for y'all because I'm one of you. I'm not this guy preaching up here. They've been kicking our butts for a long time. So what I'm worried about with mobile, we're at war right now, but now it's low key. Before, when there's a Pep Boy getting built or a Jiffy Lube, you saw it going up, didn't you? You saw it on the corner, you saw a bulldozer out there, you saw some construction. These dudes are driving around in vans and you don't even know it. You live on LinkedIn like me and my friend do. We're on LinkedIn quite a bit. You'll see all kinds of stuff. You'll see a massive number of people doing mobile tires, And we all know that tires are retention, right? They're not big gross items, but they're retention. These guys they're going to eat our lunch all over again. So I'm not trying to be gloom and doom. I'm only saying that if you don't think we're under siege, look around and see all these vans driving around. Walmart, everybody's getting into it. So as dealers, to maintain our edge, we need to really think about how we're going to respond this time versus the way we did last time, which was let Jiffy Lube do our maintenance and then spend 40 years trying to get it back. Because that's what we're still doing. We're still struggling with it. So is mobile service right for you? There are some rhetorical questions here. I will say that. Will you be in the car business in 5 years? It's going to be different in 5 years, man. Almost every OEM is going to have mobile by then. Hyundai just went on. GM just went on. Stellantis is going on. Of course, Ford's big. MB's coming back. We're adding more stores. BMW's into it. If you're not in this business, your competitor will be. How are you going to protect your client base from poaching? How are you going to recapture clients that you've lost? What are we going to do different? How are you going to gain new ones? How can you take your competitions? And lastly, don't you want to provide the same kind of guest experience that you want in other parts of your life? Other things that you buy, other services and products. Don't we want to provide that too? That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Does anybody have an easy question as a layup that I can dunk one on the way out from the 5-foot rim? Oh, yes. Oh, here we go. Did everybody hear her question? How do you market it to a technician to make it attractive to them? Well, first of all, you got to recognize it's a different type of person that wants to be a mobile tech. Okay? Most of the time, mobile techs like to work well on their own. They like gadgets and technology because they're dealing with the tablets and they're dealing with, reflashes and technology and stuff. They like the solitude of not having the shop foreman breathing down their neck. They like the open road. They like talking to customers. Not every technician likes to talk to customers. I was telling Dave yesterday, I said, I got technicians. I've had to stand between a tech and a customer, and I was the smallest guy in the equation. So it's really in the recruiting of that technician, making sure that you are putting out the right bait for that person. It's a different type of person. It's not the same person that's going to sit in the back in the shop and turn 20 hours a day doing heavy stuff and just cranking. It's a different kind of person. You got to have soft skills. You got to be able to talk to people, because if you want white glove service, you got to be white glove. Your tech's got to be white glove. They don't have to turn 20 hours a day. They just have to be really savvy with guests, savvy with technology, and they need to be able to handle a limited menu of stuff. So that's kind of the answer with that. It's more about matching the right person to that. What I recommend, because I hear a lot of people say, oh, we're having difficulty finding technicians. Well, here's my thing. If you've got an express service department, that can be your training, like your farm system. What I've recommended to dealers is make it a requirement of any new express tech that you hire that they're going to be in a rotation, or at least that they know that they're going to have to at some point run that van. And every one of them should be trained to work in the van. Doesn't mean you got to switch them out all the time, but they should make that a condition of their employment. Don't be begging people to come work for you in the van. Make it known up front. Here's the van, get used to it, like it, #van life, and let's rock on, right? That's my suggestion on recruiting technicians, making sure that you understand the temperament, personality of the type of person that wants to do this job. Yes, sir? That's a great question. It's all over the board. Most everybody is hourly plus maybe an incentive per RO, or let's say, I'm just going to throw out a number. This is not a real number. $20 a clock hour and maybe $10 a flat rate hour that they turn, possibly. Maybe you say it's $50 a flat rate hour or $60 a flat rate hour. Now, and I've gone to dealers and I said, I've got this calculator, by the way, and I'll share it with you. You're going to love it. It's got like 6 different pay plans, and it'll show you what you paid them per flat rate hour that they produced, which is what you really want to know. That's what you really want to know. So I'll go to a dealer and I'll say, hey, I'm having trouble keeping people. I bet you paid this guy $60 an hour for flat rate hour. I bet you he would work for you. I'm not paying that much. And I would do a calculation I would factor in the clock time, the overtime, the incentives, and the unapplied time. Say, dude, you're paying this guy $82 per flat rate hour. Why don't you give yourself a break? And that guy's not motivated, right? The 65 flat rate guy is motivated. He's got his hair on fire. So I want to share that with you. I think you'll, because a lot of people don't look at it. They look at it in terms of, you got to figure out what the bottom line is on it. So, sure.
Yeah, because I think everybody would like to see that.
Sure. And I'd be happy to send this deck. You guys may already be sick of looking at it, but I'll send you the deck. It's not that long. I just made it seem really, really long, but while it wasn't, it's like 2 slides. Super grateful. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.